When you start texting a girl, there are 3 stages you need to understand to get that girl to like you back through text. So in today's video, I'm gonna walk you through all 3 stages and show you every type of text message you should send a girl. Let's start with phase number 1. I call this the icebreaker phase. The icebreaker stage involves every message you're gonna send her to help you stand out so you can build rapport with her to make sure she always responds back over the 20 other guys that are also gonna be messaging her. Starting with number 1, learn how to handle dry texters. Just imagine how many times have you matched with a super attractive girl, but then she starts messaging you with one-word responses and never asks you any question. If you're like most men, you're gonna assume she's not interested in me. This is wrong. So here's how you deal with a dry texter. First, you're gonna start by sending her an opening message like this. Hey, that clothing item you were wearing today was really cool. Now, that's just one, but here are a few more opening examples that you can use, which I recommend you screenshot and save. Now, if she continues to reply with these boring one-word responses, it could mean she's interested, but she's still testing you, which means you need to follow up with this message to call her out on her behavior. You can say any of these next following lines. Again, these are risky lines, so only use them in this situation. Now, the idea with these is to playfully tease her and annoy her, which will lead us to the 3rd step, which is gauging her response. If she doesn't respond, there you go, you have your answer. If she responds, but she continues to be dry, cut your losses, focus on another girl. However, if she switches up her communication with you, that is your clear sign that she's interested in you. Now, this is only the first type of messages you're gonna send a girl, which is dealing with girls that are dry texters. Every guy's been here, that by the time you get to the end of it, you're gonna know how to make any girl so interested in you, she's gonna be begging for you to text her. This takes us to number 2. Stop messaging these girls on these platforms. It is nearly impossible to get a girl truly interested in you if you're only talking to her on Tinder, Instagram, or Snapchat. The reason is simple. On these platforms, you are just one of many. Bro, when she opens up any of these apps to talk to you, she's also talking to a whole other team of guys. You're just one of the bunch, bro. So here are the platforms where girls are gonna respond the most and it's more intimate. To start, you need to send her a message that's gonna grab her attention on the platform you're already talking to her. You could try something like any of these 2. Usually they get girls to respond because they're more unique. Then, you're gonna wait at least 12 hours before replying. Once you've done that, I want you to send her this exact message. Sorry for not responding earlier. I don't really check this app much. Want to talk somewhere else instead? Next, you're going to want to move this conversation to the app where you're gonna be taken more seriously because there's not a lot of competitors. There's not a lot of guys messaging her on these apps. So here's a ranking of the best apps from least to most effective. And number 5, we have Twitter. In 4th place, we have Instagram. In 3rd place, we have Snapchat. In 2nd place, we have WhatsApp. And in 1st place, it's her phone number. Once you've cleared this, you've now entered phase 2 of messaging her. By this point, you've already broken the ice with her. You've managed all the dry moments and are now talking to her in a more serious platform. This means it's time to get her obsessed with talking to you. In this obsession phase, you're gonna use this 3rd texting technique, which is using deep conversation starters to find shared interests. Shared interests are crucial for developing deeper connections with this girl that you like. So I'm gonna show you the questions you should be asking through text to start building this deeper connection. And no, this is not just gonna be my opinion. This is all based on science. You see, a recent study revealed that 64% of women considered shared interests as a key factor on deciding whether they wanted to move forward with a relationship. When they analyzed this further, they found that 28% of all physical attraction was based on shared interests. What this means for you is that if you can show her these shared interests between you and her, you become 28% more attractive than you already are without doing anything else to your appearance. So, to develop these deeper connections, you first need to avoid the basic, hey, or how was your day? These are boring texts that destroy meaningful connections. You're gonna check out her Instagram and her TikTok accounts. I want you to look at her most recent post and make a mental list in your head of all the hobbies, interests, or countries she's traveled to. When the time is right, you're gonna subtly bring up these topics. I'm gonna give you a personal example. It was New York Fashion Week here in New York, and I went into a beautifully designed fashion event that was run by Fondi. I've showed you this brand before. It's a great brand for men and women. I was there because I was looking at their upcoming 2025 product line for spring, summer. And I'll be honest with you, when I was there, I was impressed with the entire lineup. I've been wearing Fondi for a very long time because it's affordable. You can get it on Amazon, easily available, but the designs that they're coming out with, impressive. So if I'm talking to a girl and I know her interest is fashion, for example, a lot of girls in New York love fashion, I would bring this up to her. I would say something along the lines of, oh, you seem to really like fashion. I actually went to this fashion event the other night. Then I would just send her pictures and videos of the event. We would start talking about the brand, what she thinks about upcoming fashion trends, what does she think about those designs, and now you have a comfortable, normal conversation where she's building a deeper and deeper connection with you because she's realizing, yo, this guy has the same interests I have. This is how you use this to your advantage. This is also why it's so good to start dressing well as a man. When you dress well, it's so easy to connect with women because every girl wants a guy that looks good, and you don't have to break the bank. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Like I was just showing you with the brand Kufandi, you as a guy can build an entire outfit for around $150. If you order from Amazon, you can get it in 2 days. And the great part is that Kufani is consistently dropping new designs to make sure you're always looking as stylish as possible without having to break the bank. Look, when I went to the runway show, I was impressed. I was already a fan before, I'm a bigger fan now. If you're a guy that wants to start looking more attractive, start dressing better, but you don't want to have to spend a lot of money, you have to check out Kufandi, which I'm going to have linked down below. I'm also going to put a special discount that's going to make the clothes even more affordable. But the point here is, once you've established shared interest, whether it is with your personal style or because of a specific event you went to, she's gonna start realizing you're boyfriend material. You're the guy she wants to have a relationship with. I want you to look for the 5 texts that guarantee that she likes you. Look, if a girl texts you with any of these 5 texts I'm about to show you, it is a clear sign she wants you to ask her out. However, don't take any risks with just one of these texts. You want to make sure that you receive at least 3 out of the 5 before you move forward and you ask her out. So in order of interest, if she texts you first with you having to initiate a contact, that's a good sign. That's one good text. If she sends you a good morning or a good night text without you having to prompt it, that's another good text. If she replies to your messages, even when you know she's in class or at work, that is another good text. If she sends you a funny TikTok or Instagram video without you even having to ask, that is an amazing text. And the best one of them all, if she frequently asks what you're doing or what you're doing this weekend, bro, this girl is begging you to ask her out. Now, I want you to understand these texts very well. If you only receive 1 out of 5 of these, you're probably just in the friend zone. You should not make the first move. If you receive between 2 or 3 of these good messages, she's interested, but she's probably also entertaining some other guy. But if you get 3 or more of these good messages, you're the guy of her dreams, bro. You should make that first move. Now that you've learned how to deal with dry texters, how to talk on the right platforms, how to bring up interest naturally with her, and understand what messages to look for, you are finally prepared for the last phase of text message, which I call the flirting stage. The flirting stage is when you move from having her obsessed with you to an actual date. It is the riskiest stage of all because if you jump to conclusions to this stage and you fail, there is no going back, which is why I needed you to understand stages 1 and 2 well. Now let's move on to stage 3. The 5th type of text message is to learn how to text without looking creepy. If you text like this, she's gonna think you're a creep. She's never gonna wanna go out with you. First, you never wanna comment on a girl's appearance when you're texting her. Every other guy does that, and she's gonna think you're only into her because of her looks, which you may be, but you don't want her to know that. Instead, I want you to analyze her Instagram and look for these 3 pictures on her profile, and I promise you, every girl has at least one of these 3. And depending on the picture, I'm gonna show you what message to send her. If you notice she has pictures of traveling, I want you to use a message like this. If you notice she has a graduation photo, I want you to use a message like this. If you notice she has photos of animals or pets, I want you to use a message like this. Now, she's gonna see that you're not just another sleazy guy and want something more serious with you. But this takes me to the last message you should send her, which is number 6. Use the Martin Luther King technique. This is how you're gonna give her butterflies. Engage her interest over text. Now, I made this trick myself, so I call it the Martin Luther King technique. And here's how you're gonna do it. To start, you need to wait for her to send you the first message. It could be a good morning message or whatever. Then you're gonna respond with, how'd you sleep? She'll tell you how she slept, and then she'll ask you how you slept. And then this is when you follow up with this. You're gonna respond with the technique I'm gonna show you and say these exact words. I slept well, but I had a dream last night that you and we had a crazy game of mini golf together. Now, when you send that message, it's not risky, but she's gonna respond 1 in 3 ways. First, she might not even acknowledge it at all and give you some dry response, like, oh wow, nice, or oh, that was funny. In that case, she's not interested in a date and you should move on, and now you have your answer. However, if she flirts back and responds with something like, oh, who won, or oh, I'm sure I could beat you, it means that she is open to the idea of a date, which gives you an easy segue to respond with something like, I guess we'll have to do it in person to see who the real winner is. Are you free this weekend? Come on, bro. Who else gives you game like this? That's why I call it the Martin Luther King technique. I'm telling you, you use this. I have now showed you every type of text message you need to send this girl. And when you use this final trick, you'll get her on a date with you. You're welcome. No one else is teaching you this stuff, bro. See you next time.